Hey Pisces. And you have death. And I laugh because a lot of people get nervous about this card, and I actually absolutely love death. One of my favorite cards in this particular deck, is death, because I like the way it's portrayed. But death is not a physical death. Death is change, transformation, rebirth. And it's not just small changes. This is making very big changes. So, for anybody who's single, this tells me either you're newly single or you've been single for a long time and haven't wanted to date anybody, and now you're making the change to start to date. It's almost like you've made some, maybe physical changes, mental changes, life habit changes, and now you're ready to find somebody you really want. Maybe you went through, a serious breakup a while back, and you've had to come to grips with how you're feeling, what you need to change inside yourself to better put out into the universe, and also, how you needed to change. How I get the sense some of you needed to change, like how others perceive you, like not even perceive you. It's more like okay. Let me rephrase this. So you have almost allowed people who are not good enough into your life, I guess is how I should say it. And not good enough in a conceited way, like, oh, I'm better than anybody, but people that don't treat you right. And so you're changing not the way people view you, but the way you're allowing people to treat you, and the way that the people that you keep in your life, you're being very careful about their behavior and how that's going to affect you. Because you're just tired of the bullshit, and you've decided to make a clean break. And now you're ready to date and bring somebody in, but you're just like, I know what I want. I'm not dealing with any crap anymore. And I actually kind of like this card coming in, because I feel like a lot of you coming into steady and feeling good. And Pisces, I hope that's, 100%. I hope that resonates with the majority of you, because that would be fantastic. For anybody looking to reconcile, it's very early in the read, but this also tells me that maybe there was, a transformation. This could go one of two ways, which at this point we're at a 50-50, right? Because we haven't seen what the rest of the cards are. But for anybody looking to reconcile, this could be either there's a rebirth, a change completely, and you don't want to be with your ex, but maybe they're pursuing you, or maybe you're pursuing them and they don't want to be with you. However, I'm almost getting the feeling, which is reconciliation has been very positive for most signs this month, which usually it's not that consistently positive. I'm getting the feeling a lot of you, this is a rebirth of a relationship. This is changes you've made, changes your ex has made, and for some of you, I feel like maybe it was 6-8 months you haven't talked to each other, and now you've kind of decided, I'm good. Like, I heard through the grapevine, maybe they're still single, I still want to see them, and I almost feel like a lot of you maybe have gotten in touch in June, or your ex has gotten in touch with you. So whatever the case may be, I feel like even though a lot of people get nervous about the death card, it's not a physical death card. I'd be more worried about like the 9 or 10 of swords than I would the death card, because those mean like tragedy, illness, something pretty nerve-wracking. Death is just a death of something and a rebirth of something else. So for singles and anybody looking to reconcile, I feel very positive about this. And for singles, I just feel like maybe this is your month to shine. All right, the next card you have is this is more internal, but any feelings or challenges that may help or hinder your position coming into the month. So you have the King of Coins, and the King of Coins is actually a very positive card, and I think it goes really well with the Death card, which I told almost every read this month that the reads have been very congruent. Knock on wood. Hopefully it stays consistent with your read as well, but it just seems like card after card after card kind of flows with the next more than I usually have each month. Normally there's a few signs that I'm like, what's going on here? All right, so this is all about being confident, stable. This is about good business practices. Could even be about wealth. So, maybe some things that you had to change in your life. You broke up. There was a, relationship that didn't work out, and now you're ready to date because you've gotten things in line. And again, going along with the death card of change, rebirth, I think maybe some of you just focus solely on career or solely on your family, your kids. You know, maybe some of you have siblings or parents going through something, and you just kind of didn't focus on dating. And now you're ready to, because you're feeling more financially stable than you have been. Maybe some of you, you know, got your own place and you had to kind of learn to be single again and just make a new life for yourself. And for some of you, you know, make a new life for you and your children, or your pets. A lot, you know, I consider my pets family too. So the King of Coins tells me that a lot of you have made some serious decisions about becoming stable. Maybe some of you got out of some serious chaos and you just had to get your life in order. And now, and again, I'm feeling like some of you from head to toe, like physically, you got in shape, you joined a gym, you started hiking, you took up a new athletic hobby, maybe you joined a co-ed team. And for some of you, it was that plus a new job or focusing more on your career. You know, even changes in, like, I just see a lot of some people, even new furniture out with the old and with the new, you know, moving to a new location, a new apartment, a new house, whatever the case is with you. I just sense really positive, and whatever the hard work you've been putting in the past couple of months has really paid off. For anybody who's looking to reconcile, it's the same thing. I feel like you had to get your shit together, and your partner had to get or your ex had to get their shit together, and now you can come together feeling positive, at least on your end. You know, this could be both of you, but I really get a feeling that it's you, Pisces, that has made the strides. I'm not saying that your ex hasn't. I'm just saying this card, being the single rose, is telling me it's like you. This is on you. This is your game. This is, you know, and I feel like you're offering kind of this beauty, but don't screw me over because there's thorns here, and you will get, you know, pricked if you don't treat me well. So maybe some of you went through a breakup. Somebody wasn't treating you well. Somebody wasn't treating you the way you wanted to be treated. And now you're happy to think about getting back together, but you're kind of like, you know, I'm not playing games here. So, and not in a bad way, just in a self-preservation way, which I feel like a lot of you actually need that. So the next card you have is your distant past, and that's always over the past few years, could be 10 years. This isn't usually the past few weeks or the past few months. It's more distant than that. And right off the bat, the Chariot could be a Cancer or a water sign, but the Chariot often symbolizes Cancer. I don't always bring up the person in the card or the sign of the card, because I mean, it's going to resonate with everybody completely different, but for some reason Cancer just flew out at me because this is their card. So this I always read for singles and anybody looking to reconcile together, because again, this is years and years ago, and as I've explained to every sign, and this is the last month that I'll explain it, the reason I bring it up, I can't explain to other readers that bring up the past card, but a lot of them do. And for me, the reason I bring this up is because this is maybe a trait or behavior that you're exhibiting this month that comes from the past, or a way you used to think, or a way you used to behave. And it's good to recognize those, because sometimes they can help you move forward, and sometimes they're hurting you in finding someone. So this kind of reminds you of the good and the bad, and, you know, how to deal with your current situation without allowing the past to sabotage. So the Chariot is about, you know, balance, but it's also about duality. So it's almost like with the Chariot, it's like you and your partner at one time, you were moving, you know, forward, you were moving in sync, and the Chariot was moving, and everything was wonderful. And then at one point, maybe your partner got cold feet, or you got cold feet. I really feel like for some of you, you were heading to marriage, or you were heading into a relationship where you're going to move in together, or you were moving in certain directions and you were at different paces. So one of you was slower than the other, and it kind of held it up, and then the Chariot would stand still. Or for some of you, you were young, and one of you wanted to settle down, get married, have kids, and the other one was like, no, 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 party, party, party. So one of you's going one direction, one of you's going the other direction, and the chariot just stands still. It's like a stalemate because it can't move unless you're moving in the same direction. And it's also about ID. So again, I'm getting this sense that for some of you it was really young, like high school sweetheart, you know, maybe you got married, or maybe you were going to get married, or but you had to find yourself, because this card is about identification as well. So, you know, it's about yin and yang almost. And for some of you, you thought you had it and you thought you were heading that direction and you felt really positive about it, and then boom, you guys were going in separate directions. And some of you, you just outgrew each other, or you wanted different things in life, but you're kind of remembering that now because there were good parts. I mean, the chariot is also about balance. And so I think that now maybe you're ready for the position that your partner wanted, or you're looking for somebody in the same space and realm. So you realize now that like you have to balance each other out. And it feels like a lot of you in your past relationships, it was, you know, a tug of war, and you know, you couldn't really win. Neither of you could win because it just wasn't working. You just outgrew each other, or couldn't see eye to eye, and it got to the point where it was like, well, what's the point? I mean, we don't want the same things in life. So, but you truly cared about that person. At one point, you truly loved that person. So I think you're realizing this month that, you know, you can have that love. There just has to be more balance between you and your partner than there was before. And for anybody who's single, this tells me that you're really, again, you know, you've transformed in the way that you're thinking about relationships and what you want and what the expectations should be. And for anybody who's looking to reconcile, I feel like you also realize that, like, you either have to be on the same page, you know, or not, and then it's not going to work. The next card you have is your immediate past. So over the past few weeks, maybe the past month or two, and you have the Nine of Cups. Okay, so the Nine of Cups is all about bliss and pleasure. So for singles, I feel like some of you have that bliss and pleasure and fulfillment within yourself, and you're kind of radiating that. And so this month you're ready to make a change and start dating again. Some of you may have tried to date in the past and it was just like, nope, this is not for me. This isn't going to work. For some of you, you haven't, but this tells me that in the past few weeks, you may have already started dating, and you may have met somebody that you think might be a good fit for you. Or maybe you've met a few people that you feel like maybe could be a bit, you know, good fit for you. Or you're just on cloud nine because you are feeling so good about this job and stability and getting your crap together and whatever it is. I keep getting something in the back of my head that's like my own, coming into my own, like my own space. It's almost like you finally built a life for yourself. Some of you were married when you were younger, or in a serious relationship when you were younger, and you weren't yourself. There was like this duality of, you know, you had to pretend to be somebody different, or you had to go along with what somebody else wanted. Finally, you were like, no, I'm done. I need to go my own path. And this is kind of like, you've gotten there and you feel amazing because it's finally for once like your life, and you feel like it's your life. So this 9, the past few weeks or the past month, you're feeling, you know, like exuberant, and it feels like it's well deserved. Like, you know, good on you, Pisces. The hard work is paid off, because the 9, it feels like, yes, you could possibly have met somebody, but this is more like, you know, you're gonna meet somebody incredible because you've put all this work into it. So even if you haven't met anybody, you're heading in that direction, and you just feel on top of the world. Even dating, you're kind of like, I know I'll meet somebody special. I know I can do this. I deserve it. I'm a good person. You know, I know what I want finally. And some of you have grown a lot. For anybody looking to reconcile, again, I think maybe you've been in contact with this person because this is the rebirth. And the 9 of Cups, if that is the case, is suggesting that you're feeling amazing. That's exactly what you needed. You needed to get, like, there was a connection that was very strong, and your life felt like it was on hold, and you needed to at least hear their voice. I'm not saying that it's 100% going to work out. Right now the cards look like they're in your favor, but this is more of, you know, you feel like whole again. So for some of you, this was a very deep connection, but you needed to take that break in order to recognize that, feel it, you know, and same for your partner. I feel like your partner's kind of feeling the same way. So you're blissful, they're blissful, and the past couple of weeks have been good. If this hasn't happened to you yet, I really think you're going to be contacted, or you're going to contact them, and that both of you are just going to kind of feel at peace a little bit about it. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months, you know, could be into the end of the year, and you have the 10 of coins. The 10 of coins is a very good positive future card, because this is legacy, this is generosity, this is wealth. This has a lot to do with money, but when you're reading it on love, it's a plethora of love. It's a plethora of feeling good and having loving moments and feeling generous towards each other and feeling generous with your heart. So for anybody who's single, I really do feel like you're going to meet somebody incredible. I think that these changes you put in place are going to make you feel on top of the world, and I think that you're going to have some suitors. If you haven't met somebody already, you're going to meet a few, and one of them you're going to end up really caring about. This is also, I think, a lot of you, something with work or working really hard, because this does mean wealth. So whatever you focused on putting your attention into the past few months, which wasn't a relationship, it was work or, you know, your kids, whatever it was for you, it's going to pay off in the next few months, and pay off heavily, because the 10 is like excessive payoff. So it doesn't even have to be financial. It could be all the work you're putting into meeting new people. You could be going on new, you know, or figuring out new ways to date instead of going on, you know, swipe left, swipe right, etc. You're just going to feel very fulfilled, and that's going to carry over the next few months, and that's really positive to see, Pisces. I really like that. The 9 next to the 10, the 9 of cups next to the 10 of coins, that feels like things are just going to kind of, like you're going to get a break. For some of you, I feel like you really need a break. For anybody looking to reconcile, it's very similar. It's, you know, having legacy, which tells me, honestly, that some of you may get together pretty quick, and like plan for a baby or plan to get married, because this is definitely like passing your legacy to somebody, creating a future. So if you're looking to reconcile, this is very positive. And I really get the sense it's going to be quick. Like, even if you spent 6 or 8 months apart, it was like all you did was think about that person night and day. All they did was think about you. And if you want to reconcile, there's a good possibility that's going to happen, and it may be long term, which is what I feel like a lot of you were hoping for. Anyways, the next card you have is your immediate future, so over the next few weeks. And you have the 6 of Swords. So this is going to tell me that for a lot of you, you're going to, so this is about travel. This is about taking a retreat. So if you're single, I think you may, with this rebirth transformation, may take like a summer vacation, maybe go on a meditation, a yoga excursion, even camping or glamping or whatever. But I think that you're still, even though you're wanting to date, you're still looking at kind of finding yourself. So I feel a lot of like nature, like taking time off to get in tune with nature. However, some of you may have met somebody, this 9 of Cups, you may have met somebody and you're going to take this together. This is going to be kind of a trip you're going to take together. Now make sure that you're not escaping either, because this can also be like abandonment. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, you know, because again, these changes are big. It seems like some of these could be pretty huge. And maybe if you are just starting to date again, it's very overwhelming, and maybe you didn't have good experiences, you know, a few months ago with it, and your instinct is gonna be to run for the hills again. Oh, this isn't gonna work for me. But I strongly urge you not to. I think it's gonna be very positive for you. But again, it could be that you and, you know, somebody you met decided that you're gonna take like a small camping trip or something like that. For anybody looking to reconcile, that tells me that July, even though you're happy you're in contact and the future looks good, take your time, because this is abandonment and retreat in the sense of, you know, uh-oh, I'm nervous, I'm scared. I get some feelings of, how do we ever get back to where we were? And I think that you can't. You have to change everything completely. Like if there was any jealousy or if there was any distrust or whatever, you have to be completely past that. You have to be willing to understand that your relationship may not be the same, but it could be better. But I feel like there's going to be some nervousness throughout July, and don't, you know, raise the white flag and take off. Like, stick with it. This looks good. This is how it feels. So, again, don't take off running and head for the hills. Be patient with it. You need to have that patience. It's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be work. But if you love that person, it's worth it, right? The next card you have is going to be any external factors for the month of, and this is the Three of Wands. And this means anything tangible or anything around you that could be going on that's affecting your life. And it's, you know, so it could happen in the beginning, the middle, the end, or it could happen up and down throughout the entire time. The Three of Wands, however, I like a lot because this is growth, planning, partnership, being together. So let's start with reconciliation this time. For the three tells me that, you know, here you are, back together and feeling good. Yes, you're nervous. You have some concerns because you want to jump back in and want roses and everything to be perfect. They can be, but it doesn't work that way. You have to be realistic. There are going to be bumps in the road. The Three of Wands says that you guys do have plans and goals, and you are looking at, you know, the future together. This legacy I'm talking about, like having babies, getting married, is a possibility, but you have to take it slow, and you do have to plan things out, and you do have to talk. This is about partnership, and you have to learn to re-partner. It's a rebirth. So yes, you want things to fly in and be, you know, wonderful, and otherwise you feel like turning around and running the opposite direction, but don't, because again, it's a partnership. You have to take time with it. You have to grow. Your relationship cannot just start where it left off and not talk about things, not make goals, not make sure that this is what you both want. You have to solidify what the relationship means for both of you. And that's really important. But the Three of Wands is very positive in that aspect. It's not a negative planning or goals or growth. It's very positive. For anybody looking, or anybody who's single, this is the same thing. So I truly believe that if you haven't met somebody this bliss the past few weeks, you will meet somebody and it's going to feel very good. And I think maybe you are planning to take a trip, or you will be planning on maybe a small camping trip, like a day or two, just to see how you get along. But this is also growth and partnership. So I think there's major potential here. I really do think that a lot of you who weren't interested in dating and whatnot have decided that, you know, you're transforming into single looking, wanting to be with somebody. And I really think you might find them. And like I said to people looking to reconcile, I think if you're single, it may come pretty quick as well. I sense this quickness about it. And for anybody who's single, it's like I get this sense a lot of you have taken some real time off. So you really deserve it. Whether this is the person that's going to be with you for the rest of your life, or who you get married, or, you know, move in together, whatever, I don't know yet. Like, it's not that strong of a vibe, but you're going to enjoy yourself. And right now I feel like you really deserve that and need that. So the next card you have is anything internal. So how you're going to feel throughout. And you have the Queen of Wands, which is frisky. So this tells me that you're very, you know, you're feeling a ferocity. You're passionate. You're confident. You're creative. So if you're single, this is great. This is, you're feeling sexy. You're feeling good about yourself. And that really tells me that you may have met one or two people that, you know, could be somebody you could see yourself with for a long time, and you're just turning on the heat. You're feeling confident. You're feeling confident in dating. You're feeling confident in who you've become, and that's really important. And you don't need that person to make you feel that way. You already feel that way for the most part. It's just emphasizing how you feel, and you feel confident in finding somebody and you know, finding love. And this is about passion too. So I feel like, you know, again, you could be taking a staycation just at a hotel to bunker down for the weekend. But this is feeling good in so many aspects, in so many ways. And you're creative. So I feel like you're managing this work or whatever it was that you've accomplished and that you're doing so well with. And you're being able to balance both, but you're allowing yourself to feel less in. and love again, and attraction again, and want again, and physical touch again. And I think that's really great. For anybody looking to reconcile, I think it goes along with this perfectly. If you're not in contact with them yet and you truly want to be, it's going to happen. And you're going to feel this confidence of, we can do this, and this is who I want. And you're going to come up with maybe creative ways to show your partner how much you miss them. Or maybe they'll show you creative ways on how much they've missed you. But this is, you know, again, a passion. And I think that you're going to have that passion with your ex. You know, heed the warning that if it's just lust, it may not work, because, you know, sometimes people get back together for the sex aspect or the physical aspect, but then it still dies down because the underlying problem wasn't solved. So just make sure that you're taking care of that, and not letting, you know, those types of feelings overtake everything. The next two cards you have are any fears or hopes you have for the month. You have the World and the Outcome. And you have the Ace of Cups. Okay, so the World is a fantastic card. That is your hopes. Basically means that you're going to be, you hope to accomplish a million things. You're feeling like you belong for the first time. So anybody who's single, I definitely feel like you're meeting somebody who haven't already met them, and it's going to be quick. You're going to feel like you belong to like a relationship. You, not to somebody, but to a relationship. You feel like you're in a partnership, and like the card is, I mean, the road leads to anywhere you want it to go. And this is accomplishment and completion. So I really feel for some of you, this work aspect or family aspect or whatever it is, you're feeling over the moon because everything's kind of aligned, and you've worked hard. And again, like I've said, you know, 3 times already, it's paying off. You're feeling fulfilled. And that's what you hoped for. And it's almost like your hopes and dreams are kind of coming true. I mean, not every hope and dream, but you're feeling like the light at the end of the tunnel, and you can go anywhere you want. And, you know, for singles, that's major because, again, some of you, I feel like you've taken some major time off, and haven't focused on love. And it's going to happen. It's going to, like, hit you like a ton of bricks. I really feel that. For anybody looking to reconcile, the same thing. You're going to feel like you guys belong together again. You're going to feel fulfilled. You know, there's this feeling of accomplishment, but it's also completion. So I feel like you're going to complete these plans and goals to get to this legacy and you know, marriage and kids. This really is just an open road, and you're seizing the moment, and you're going to go for it. And completion, which tells me you're completing the first step of, you know, beginning the new chapter, and, you know, shutting the door on the past and allowing a new relationship to form. The Ace of Cups being your outcome is very, very special, Pisces, because this is friendship, beginnings, love, excitement. So for anybody who's single, man, I don't know that you could have a better reading, because this month is very clearly your month to meet somebody very special and to fall in love and have new beginnings and let, you know, the road take you where you want to go. This is incredible. I really feel like, Pisces, this could be your month. Unbelievable, because the ace is, you know, new beginnings that turn into love. And like I said, I feel like it's going to move kind of fast. So I could say be careful here, but I really don't see any caution. And I think you're ready, and you're recognizing from the past that things didn't balance out, and it's almost like you've gone over it and over it, and you get it now. Like, you understand that there was nobody to blame, but you know what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. And I feel like some of you have spent a lot of time making sure you're ready to date, making sure your ducks are in a row so that you could have it. And you're excited. I mean, that's what the Ace of Cups is. You're excited to find love. You're excited to be in love. You're excited for friendship. And I feel like that's what this is the basis of it, right? You made these changes because maybe having a young relationship or marrying a sweet high school sweetheart or whatever your, you know, situation was. I feel like, again, like I said, a lot of it was young, and you didn't know better in certain places, but you took from it that you have to have that friendship, right? You have to be going in the same direction. You don't have to want everything the same. That's not true. It's better if sometimes if you guys aren't identical twins, right? Because you need to be yourselves. But it's like, you know that having an excellent friendship and getting along is great. And for some of you, it may be that you've been single for a long time, and I just got this very strong vision of like two people who've known each other for a long time, who meet for coffee, who meet for a drink, or do whatever. All of a sudden you're like, hey baby. And it's like you've been friends for so long and you just realized, hey, we're like best friends, but I kind of love you. Do you love me? And that might be what this whole thing, the whole quickness is. For some of you, that may very well be it. For others of you, it's going to be that you meet somebody, you bond really quick, and it's going to be incredible. For anybody looking to reconcile, it's the same thing. This is beginnings, but I think for you, it's going to be the rebirth. So it's going to be the beginning of a very successful relationship. You're excited, they're excited, and I think that you're going to build on the friendship. That you realize that there was a lot of lust, there was a lot of this, physical passion, and you realize now that you actually like that person. They like you, so you're going to build the friendship, and it's going to become love again. So, Pisces, I really hope you have a great month.